It's Nick again from Hi-Fi for All. Just wanted to make a quick video for a really exciting announcement, and today we are launching our first piece of apparel. It's a t-shirt that I worked on for a few months leading up to the Dahlia launch, and then had it in production during the workshop move over the winter break. So really excited about this t-shirt, and yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it is. So I initially wanted to make something that looked really cool. So the first step was, engaging a graphic designer who could create something original, a unique piece of art and graphic for the t-shirt. And so I found someone who had a portfolio that looked great, and I felt like his art style was very much on brand with the HFA logo and what we're trying to achieve in terms of just the brand identity and keeping it light, fun, and whimsical, but at the same time really cool. So I found this great artist, engaged him and asked him if he could do a t-shirt, and he agreed. And so yeah, that was probably last August. And we went back and forth, probably did 5-6 different revisions and iterations on the concept and landed on what we have today. And so let's take a look. I'm wearing the black version. So there's two versions of this t-shirt. And so I'm wearing the black one, and you can see that right now. And so here it is. And it's in reverse because of the mirror. But yeah, we have the logo. We have a character that's drawn, a skull character playing the guitar, and then he is wearing the Dahlia headphones, so that's pretty cool. And then a little descriptor at the bottom, a little HFA descriptor here, and yeah, here it is. I'm 6'1" and 170 pounds, and I'm wearing this is a medium, and you can see it's a pretty modern fit. It's tapered in a little bit on the sides. But yeah, and this is after a few washes. It's 100% cotton, and yeah, I think it's just a great tee. So when I was looking to do a t-shirt, one of the things I want to do is, I definitely wanted it screen printed. That was the first thing, obviously, because I wanted to make something really nice and premium. And the direct to garment printing stuff just never really felt great to me. So I immediately thought, okay, I need to find a screen printer, and went locally in San Francisco to a few shops and looked at their inventory and their t-shirts that they were printing, and just tried to figure out the lay of the land and what felt the best to me, and like what I would really want in a t-shirt. And what I found was that I really like the fit and the comfort of a jersey tri-blend t-shirt, but the problem with jersey tri-blend is that it's got a lot of synthetic fibers. And so when you do a multi-color big print, like something like this, what happens is you have to flash cure it basically on every swipe of the screen. And so you'll lay down like a screen of white, and then you'll have to heat it, like dry it real quick, and then lay down another layer, heat it real quick and dry it. And so that repetitive heating is not really conducive to synthetic fibers. So immediately, it was recommended to me that I went 100% cotton. So that was one thing I had to do. And so then I kind of narrowed my search and was like, okay, let's find a 100% cotton t-shirt that I really like the fit of, because that was really important. And so I wanted something that was, number one, the most important thing is that it's cut and sewn. And so if you go to a t-shirt shop, especially shops where there's like souvenirs, like if you ever go travel, like not at the airport, because the airport's a little nicer, but if you go to like some tourist trap and they have a souvenir shop and they have these t-shirts, sometimes they'll be really, really cheap feeling, and they'll be what's called a tube shirt. And when you look at the sides of the t-shirt, there'll be no seams. It's just a continuous piece of fabric all the way around. And what that means is that there's a giant tube of fabric, and they just cut out like sections of that tube and then sew on, and cut out holes and sew on the sleeves. And so it's an inexpensive way to make a t-shirt, but what happens is on the body, it's just flat and straight, and the human body is not flat and straight. So the alternative is to actually cut out swatches of fabric and then sew them together to create a more tapered and fitted t-shirt, a garment, and that's known as cut and sewn. And so that was one thing that had to happen right away. So, okay, so looking at cut and sewn, 100% cotton, landed on this particular t-shirt, and yeah, just really thought it was nice. The other thing that I wanted to make sure is that sometimes when you see a screen printed t-shirt, the graphic, when you touch it, will actually feel a little rough and coarse to the touch, almost like the ink is like on top of the shirt, not necessarily in it. So I saw a bunch of those and I felt them, and I was like, it's not really the greatest feel, and it just didn't really fit the bill. So after consulting with a few screen printers, basically what I know I needed to do at that point was use a process called discharge ink. And discharge ink is a type of process in screen printing where you use this chemical, and I guess it's really toxic, but you use a chemical, and what it does is it first removes the dye from the cotton. So like, for example, this is a black shirt, right? And so the first process is to like soak the shirt. What the ink does is it removes the black dye from the cotton and then replaces it with the ink that you're printing. And that ink is water-based. And so what happens is the ink soaks and absorbs deeper into the cotton because there's no dye there. And that's what allows the ink to feel way more recessed and integrated into the fibers. And when you touch it to the hand, what it does is it just feels really soft. Even across this big graphic, it's going to give you a softer feel, and also it's a little more durable and holds up better to wash cycles too. So it's something that not only feels great, but also is way more durable and will stand the test of time. So looking at discharge ink processes, water-based specifically, and you need to do this for the black t-shirts. You don't need it for the white because there's no dye in the white cotton t-shirt. So that's just a water-based ink, which is really nice. And that gives you that soft feel because the water-based ink absorbs more into the cotton. But for the black, you need the discharge. And there's some screen printers that literally just don't do discharge inks because it's too toxic for their shop, and they just refuse to do this process. And I get that, like that makes a lot of sense. So that immediately narrowed down the search on who could actually print this shirt for me. And so then looking locally, the costs here in San Francisco are super high. I mean, I would love to get it printed locally, but unfortunately it was just out of the budget. But I did find somebody in the United States that has an amazing screen printing operation, and they do discharge and water-based inks. And so, yeah, it was a good fit. The budget was right. And then that's when we moved into production. The production process took like probably 2 or 3 weeks to hammer out the details on exactly what I wanted. And so we had to figure out the size and the placement of the graphic on the t-shirt. I wanted the graphic to not be too close to the armpits. I wanted it to be, more centered and clearly visible, especially the logo here. So I decided on like 10.5 inches is the width. And then I think it's like 11 or 12 inches long. So the placement's really important. And then the other thing was the tag. So when you get a t-shirt, sometimes they'll have, the paper tag is pretty standard, but I never really like getting a t-shirt with a tag on it because it ends up just irritating me on the back of my neck, and nobody wants that. A lot of times I just cut it out, but there's another option too. And so the printed tag actually is just, I think, a little nicer, and gives the whole thing just a slightly more premium feel, but also I think it's just a better way to do things. And so adding that option of the printed tag on the inside is really nice. It's another nice feature. And so we got that done too. And yeah, I think it's an awesome t-shirt. Honestly, I've been wearing it for a little while. It's been through a few wash cycles, and it's really comfy, feels great. It's soft, fits great. Honestly, I love it. I love this t-shirt. And yeah, so I have it in black, and then also there's a white version. So let's take a look at the white version now. Okay, so here it is. Here's the white t-shirt. Honestly, the colors pop a little more on the white because of the contrast between the colors and the fabric. So it's really nice. This is my personal t-shirt. I've worn a bunch. And so that's the white version. Pretty nice. Yeah. If you're into like more vibrant colors, I think the white will be better. And then the black will be, I don't know, it's more like if you're into that style of, you know, t-shirt, it's a darker t-shirt, and goes great with, you know, anything pretty much, but more subdued. And yeah, and then the white just really pops and looks awesome. So, and then also the tag on the inside on the white version is a gray print there. And then on the black one, it's also gray. So they're both gray. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is the white one. Pretty awesome. All right, so that's the black and the white shirt. It's available on my website for sale right now. I didn't get a ton of quantity yet. I got like a relatively small batch of t-shirts in extra small through extra large. And the reason why is I'm not sure like which color is gonna sell the best or whatever. So I wanted to start small and then do a second order shortly thereafter. So there's a relatively limited quantity available, but if they do run out on the website and they're out of stock, then, you know, just hold tight for maybe another 4 weeks or so and I'll have another batch ready to go. The other thing is that I'm only shipping in the United States right now for this first batch because, again, it just, the logistics of it makes it easier when I'm doing a small batch to just ship in the United States. But when I do order a second bigger batch, I plan to open up shipping globally. So, you know, so that is coming, I would guess sometime in the summer. And yeah, this is the new shirt. It's for sale on my website for $34.99. In terms of the pricing and the profits, this thing, I always thought in my mind, for whatever reason, that t-shirts would be this, you know, pretty profitable thing. Cause I'm thinking like, how much could it cost to make a t-shirt, you know, and people are charging $40 for a t-shirt, and like that must be a lot of profit, because you go on Google and you search for a blank t-shirt and you're like, oh, that's cheap, $10, whatever. But actually the reality is this t-shirt, I will be very lucky to break even on this entire project, just because, you know, when you look at each thing, it actually starts to stack up really fast. And so engaging with a professional artist to do a graphic, if you want to find a decent artist, you're going to pay them $500 to $1,000 to make a graphic for you. And that's, you know, that's being relatively conservative, but, you know, you could probably get it done for that amount. And then your own personal time of managing the revisions and stuff with this artist, which takes, you know, hours and hours. And then going out and engaging with a screen printer who's going to charge you extra for things like, you know, the discharge ink process, the water-based inks, the tags, the printed tags on the inside, and then having it arrive to you bagged and tagged like this is an extra cost as well. Then you got to pay for, you know, like shipping to your place, and like the whole thing starts to stack up, and then you realize like, oh man, like I need to charge $35 if I'm going to break even on this project at all. So the reality is, unfortunately, this is not a profitable thing, but it's something that's fun to do. And so I hope to be able to do a t-shirt maybe once or twice a year as more of a fun side hobby thing. And yeah, it's not a moneymaker, but it's fun for me to do, and I enjoy it. And it gives me something to wear at the events and stuff. And, you know, there are customers who've asked about apparel and t-shirts. So it's just a fun, cool thing that I thought everyone might enjoy. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the design, the t-shirt, whether you want one or not. You know, it's on my website, available for purchase. And also I'll be doing a giveaway. So I'm actually going to be giving away 2 of these shirts at the upcoming Hi-Fi Con that's on February 8th in San Jose. So if you're in the Bay Area and you're into audiophile stuff, you haven't gone, you have to go to this Hi-Fi Con. It's just a really cool public open community events, free to attend, and we're going to have an exhibit table there with a bunch of really cool gear. There's going to be tons of other vendors and community tables with so much cool stuff to check out and demo. So if you're in the Bay Area or even SoCal, it's worth driving up, honestly. And even if you're in the West Coast or like west of the Mississippi, you should even just fly in. I'm not even joking. Like I would fly in for this event. It's that cool and fun. There's going to be a bunch of cool people there, and we'll have a table there, and we're going to be giving away a couple of these t-shirts and a couple of sound satchels as well. So just like fun little giveaway items that people can grab. And also we'll be probably having some of these t-shirts for sale at Can Jam New York. So we're going to be at Can Jam New York City, February 22nd and 23rd. If you're in the East Coast area, you definitely need to be making it out to Can Jam, New York. It's actually my first time going to Can Jam, New York. I've been to SoCal a few times, but I'm really excited to be in New York City and meet all of the East Coast people that I haven't had a chance to hang out with yet. And also there's a bunch of East Coast customers that have purchased the Dahlia who are going to be attending. So I'll be able to meet them in person, which is super exciting and fun. I'm really pumped about that. And we'll be having some t-shirts there too. So yeah, so that's it for tonight. Thanks for checking it out. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. All right, I'll talk to you later.